Hello, I'm Mr. Wild, and in this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to make a tiki statue using the subtractive process. I'm going to start out by lightly tapping the clay into the desired shape. Then I'm going to use my thumb to drill a hole in the bottom of the clay, about 3/4 of the way towards the top. I definitely do not want to drill all the way through and don't want to break through the top of the clay block. Also, I'm going to let the clay stay fairly thick, as I do not want super thin clay when I start carving the tiki statue. The reason for drilling a hole in the clay is to lessen how thick the clay is so it can fire more easily when it's time to fire the tiki statue. Next, I'm going to tap the clay against the table to get the precise shape that I want and also to flatten out the sides of the clay. Then, I'm going to use my needle tool to lightly sketch the design lines of where I'm going to carve. I'm going to have a face on one side and different designs or patterns on the other 3 sides in the top. Typical with most tiki statues, the facial features are going to be large and exaggerated. Some of the other side designs may be more of a freestyle design, but I'll use a ruler or other straight edge if I want a more geometric design. Even though most traditional tiki statues have symmetrical patterns and designs, you can make your designs any way that you'd like to. While I'll be using incising to carve out clay on at least 3 of the sides, I'm going to use impressing on one side. Impressing is the process of pressing an object into the clay to leave an impression. Impressing often works best when the object is pressed repeatedly in the same area. And I'm going to press the rounded end of my mini ribbon tool to make several rounded impressions in one concise area. Because the clay is still so soft, I'll switch areas and work between sketching, incising, and impressing. As I start incising the face, I want some areas to stick out and others to be carved in. Not only that, but I want to carve at different depths to help create a stronger 3D effect. Since I won't be adding any clay to the tiki sculpture, the way I make areas stick out is by carving down the surfaces around them. For instance, I want the nose and the lips to stick out, as they might be the normal areas that stick out on an actual face. So I'll carve down the areas around the nose and the lips in the space inside the lips. As stated at the beginning of this video and as seen in the title, I'll be using the subtractive method, which means I'll be starting with a larger block of clay and removing some of it until only the desired form remains. As you'll see throughout this video, I'll be using incising to carve away some of the clay from the outside in. As stated earlier, and as you watch this video, I'm constantly rotating sides and working on different surfaces of the Tiki statue. Also, I'll switch tools to use the best tool for whichever surface I'm working on, and I'm also cleaning the surface of the tool to make sure I'm getting the cleanest incising possible. As I carve different surfaces, hopefully you'll notice that I will carve a certain area multiple times. Usually the best carved areas are the ones I've carved multiple times. Maybe up to 10 times or more. I'm always making sure the surface is clean, with no jagged edges and no clay crumbs remaining. I'm not always carving deeper with each pass, sometimes just barely shaving off a surface or only removing clay crumbs. It's almost never one and done. One of the last techniques I'm going to apply to the clay is a technique called burnishing. With burnishing, I'm going to polish the surface of the clay by rubbing it with a hard, smooth object, like a spoon, until the surface is shiny. Lastly, I'm going to sign my name using a needle tool. Just so I don't scratch up the smooth surface of the base, I'm going to use the side of the needle and press the letter lines into the clay.